And a realization that I'm just like normal was absolutely liberating.
You described the album as the first true and honest one in a certain point.
In a while.
How long before
yeah.
that have you been making, now use a big word, dishonest music? Before that, I think.
I think I was as honest as I could be, but I think that for me, you know, like marijuana kind of clouded my judgment in a lot of ways, you know, and I don't regret it at all. And I think that all the records that I've made were absolutely the most honest I could be at the time. But I mean, if you're being honest about something that's like an illusion to begin with, then, you know, what's the true depth of that honesty, right? So this one, you know, is no less honest than, you know, Strapping a Lad or any of the stuff that I had been doing over the past 10 years. But because this one's from a perspective that's like clear, you know, I was able to say, well, maybe my sound isn't as congested as I've felt the need to make it. Maybe it's not as angry as I felt the need to make it. And I think with that, I started finding, you know, being a little more honest with like the person I am and going, okay, well, you know, this quest to be brilliant, you know, when maybe you're just normal, you know, is going to lead me to doing things to myself to try and like, you know, perpetuate that. It's like, well, people are projecting, some people were projecting on Strapping that it was like this other thing, right? And so, but a lot of that came from me just like being really high, right? So without the drugs, I was just kind of like, well, maybe I'm not as, you know, this or that or the other thing as I had, you know, kind of put myself out as being. So, you know, that kind of realization that I'm just like normal was absolutely liberating, right? Because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm just a normal guy, then that's what I actually want to hear, you know?
Okay, but how long has this process of quitting and sobering up taken you? Was it a hard process or?
It was 3 years and it was really difficult.
But what were there things maybe that that you could replace the marijuana with? Did you try different stuff to maybe get distraction?
Yeah, you know, like exercising, you know, and like trying to learn to meditate, right? Although it's very hard for me because my brain is still, you know, fairly scattered, right? But, you know, reading, you know, things that, you know, I've never had the patience for before, but I think like learning sort of that sense of discipline to give yourself patience, I think kind of like improves a lot of elements in your life, right? And having the kid definitely contributed to that because you have to be patient all of a sudden. You know, it's like you can't rationalize with a 2-year-old, so you have to kind of learn to just say, right, okay, just turn that off, right? So, I mean, there's several things, you know, but I think, in fact, I think the biggest thing that I did to kind of change and like get away from it was learn to play bass guitar, right? Because there's no baggage attached to it. I've never really played it when I was like stoned or anything, so it's just like a fresh start, right? And you know, the philosophy behind the bass guitar became very interesting to me, right? Like the idea of foundation and, you know, so.